Hi friends, Erin Koss here, CEO at Site Consulting Group. The last couple of connection videos, we've been talking about Site's proven framework for transformational change. So today I thought I would mix things up a little bit. Today is the third of 4 videos, and so we're going to be talking mostly about evaluate, but I wanted to revisit quickly the framework and add some visuals to the conversation. Though I'm not going to go through these slides in great detail today, I will make them available within the contents of the video today. So I hope they'll be helpful to you. So as we talk about the framework for transformational change at Site, we talk about 4 steps: measure, assess, evaluate, and implement. In the last 2 videos, we've talked about measure and assess, and want to just briefly revisit those here. When we talk about measure, we're really talking about looking at and evaluating if a company is ready for big transformational changes. This is at the senior executive level. Do we have the sponsors involved? Is there a shared vision? Do we have capabilities and capacity in the organization to actually make these transformational changes? When we talk about assess, we're talking about gathering the information needed to develop solution requirements for your business. This is a deeper dive into conversations about people's capabilities and capacity. It's also a conversation and a deep dive into the as-is business processes. What are the key business requirements that are going to need to be in place to get you where you're trying to go? We have detailed conversations about that with our clients. As we move into the evaluate phase, which is what we want to talk about today, again, not going to cover the whole slide in detail, but just want to sort of highlight some of the things that we see among our family-owned manufacturing clients. Typically, this is a common time of year to start an evaluation phase because it's really nice to have a product selected as you go into the new year and start that implementation within the first or early second quarter. Typically, we just find that that's a great time for companies to do that. And so when we start talking about evaluate, we see companies come to us in 2 different ways. One is they haven't even started and they come in and say, okay, we're ready to evaluate. And we usually ask them to take a pause and say, hey, we're glad you're here because if you're starting with us from the beginning, we're an agnostic firm. We're not here to sell you a particular solution. We're helped to guide you through a process of identifying what's really important to you, functionally, technically, and from a vendor perspective, and help ensure you make the best selection possible to get you where you're trying to go strategically. So when you come to us from the beginning, we get really excited because you haven't stepped in the potholes or run into the red flags that are often common when this isn't what you do all of the time. One of the challenges we see is companies who are making products and services for the marketplace aren't necessarily looking at ERP solutions, but maybe every 10 years, if at all. And so if they get started and go down the path by themselves, oftentimes there's a lot more cost, a lot more time, and oftentimes the failure rate is much higher not having a partner alongside you who does this all the time. So the other way we see companies come to us is if in fact they have gone down the path on their own, they pull up, they haven't been able to select the right solution, or worst case, they have selected a solution, it's the wrong solution. And so we end up with companies knocking on our door saying, hey, can you help us start again and go through the process? And so I'm here to share really, hey, recommend that you're going to save a lot of time and cost ultimately. And really the other piece too is the wear and tear on your people. Going through these types of transformational change projects, they're a big effort for your people who are busy doing and running your company, and we're asking them to peel off and focus some time on these special projects. Transformational change is no joke. ERP projects are no joke, and they can be done in a way that is super empowering and enabling to your people and your organization, if in fact we don't have to do them over and over again, right? So in the evaluate phase, if you're getting ready to look at an ERP solution, which at Site Consulting Group we believe is foundational to any business transformation change effort, we would love to have a conversation with you today versus when you've gotten down the path in the hopes of saving you time, money, and wear and tear on your people. So I'd love to have a conversation with you about that. Next time when we get together, we're going to talk about implement, and I'm going to just share that slide with you here. We'll put it in the deck, in the content as well for this video. And we'll talk a little bit more about this next time. The red flags, the roadblocks, and the risks that come into play when you take on the implementation portion of business transformation. So with that, I wish you well. Enjoy the last few moments of summer and getting into the fall, and we'll see you next time. Take care.